You are 14 years old. Yes, there is a dead girl. You need to think. I did not pull the trigger. This crybaby is 14-year-old Aaron Schmidt. Right now, Aaron is throwing a tantrum after murdering his ex-girlfriend, Alana Callahan. And as questioning, his acting only gets worse. First things first, tell me what you know happened. I mean, start from the very beginning and tell me what you... Well, when I went up to the road, but I know Amanda comes.
For a line at y'all. Who, like I was saying, college. I don't know who, I don't know his name, though. I know. What's the truth? You know.
Trying to give truth. But every time I try to say it right now, it comes right back down to me. We know. I was not the only person there. I swear to God, if I had a video camera, I would have put it on. Let me see. Something. Let me see about... Lift him up. Lift him up. Lift him up. Okay. Here's yet another piece of blood on top of my foot. On top of your feet? How is it you get blood on top of your feet, walking around on it and the floor? I'm trying to tell y'all, but I just had to tell y'all that one part. Okay. 'Cause he aimed the gun at me. I don't how. It feels. Where did the gun come from? Huh? Where did the gun come from? I don't know, sir. What's going to happen if they find that gun? It's got your fingerprints on it. And on top of that, it's got gunshot residue on your hand. How are we going to explain that? I'm sorry, but I did not shoot her. Did you see it? Yes, sir. How? I had to ditch the weapon. Okay, you had to ditch the weapon, sir. Where did you ditch the weapon at? It's over there near those bushes near the truck. But I had to help him. Move the derm. I didn't want to. I like him. He kept on aiming a gun at me, though, and telling me to do it, saying I thought
going to get me. I'm scared. But he had the gun on you, but then you took. Then he threw the gun down and ran. You had to ditch it. And then you ran out and you tried to look for him, and He was gone at that point. Why would you tell Amanda? Because she'll try to be mad and try to hurt Alana? How would that be? I don't know, sir. Down to pick her up when it's raining. A little bit rainy earlier. Well, I went up to the road and tell Amanda that I won't be able to come for 2 weeks because I got a restriction. 2 weeks, and I told her everything. I was going back down to the house, and I know. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. The only way we're going to do anything as far as trying to explain to Alana's mom what really happened is for you to just go ahead and let us know what happened. I'm telling you right now. You telling us. You're telling us something. But listen to me. It's not old. It's not old. I did not pull the trigger. So if we find the gun, or we find the fingerprints on the trigger, and find all that stuff is yours, I mean, how do you... See what I'm saying? Yes, sir. I know. I took off my shoes, and I went. There. So, I mean, I know because I had to lift up the body. Why didn't he do it? He said he didn't want to get anyone else. I don't know. Shoot. I don't know. It was some kind of short, fattish, brownish person. He ain't too short. You just said before it was a tall black. I know, but I had to say that so you don't get on me. I know who he is, though. I know who he is, but I don't know his name. Where does he live? He's a guy who likes shooting all his weapons down the road. Finally, Aaron has narrowed in on a person to blame the murder on. A person who obviously has absolutely nothing to do with Alana's death.
But Aaron keeps digging deeper. We all know sitting in this room, there was no second man. There was, listen to me. I'm not lying about the guy though. Listen to me. Listen to me. I did not stand there and make up this lie about this dude standing there. But listen to me. Aaron, you gonna listen to me? I can tell you with every bit of certainty of us sitting here just like he can. There was no other man. So this boils down to one of two things. It means, write down, is no, listen to me. It is either somebody that went over there with the intention of hurting Alana. And this was a premeditated, cold-blooded deal, or the only other thing it could be was things got a little out of hand, and it was a complete and total accident. And that person that did it is scared to dang death right now, trying to figure out how to make it right. There's this boy named David. There's like a little gate right there, but there's cable hanging there. But I saw somebody run across it. There was tail in it. So my uncle don't know where I'm land, and I have to get them off because, in the past, there's people trying to start fires
And he's kind of psycho like that. He told me a couple days a week, or couple kept on telling me that Alana likes making fun of him, making gestures, and kept on making fun of him, and everything, and he wanted to kind of get back to her. Kept on because she kept on find this girl that he kept on trying. He wanted to scare her a bit.
And he went to go in there and go scare. I didn't know he was going to do anything stupid. Are you trying to say Dave Mathis is the one that shot her? He came all dressed up and killed a bunch. And we kept on hitting the side. He said, let's just start her up and scare her. And he kept on banging on the side of the house. Well, he was, and I will go up and say, Alana, are you home? David wants to say something. And he didn't say, well, she didn't want to go out. He went in there and was talking to her, and he kept on doing this, that, and the other, and them two yelling at each other for a couple seconds, and he did something stupid. He pulled him down the elevator, but he didn't pull it out. It was sitting over there on the parents' dresser because he was running around at her house. He went there and cut it. He kind of wanted to go to John. He shot him. She accident shot her. It takes the police about 3 seconds to shoot down this alternate story because somehow Aaron hasn't realized that the fact that the dogs didn't track a second mystery person still holds up, even if he knows who the mystery person is. At the end of the day, the only people at the scene of the crime were him and Alana. All evidence points to Aaron shooting Alana inside the home, then placing her body out into the woods where he left her and watched as Alana's sister tried to save her. The bottom line is, you're all over this whole thing. Period. Not just the gun, the yard, the house, the road, everything. You're over everything. You, Aaron, are over everything. Nobody else is over everything. You're forgetting there were other people in that yard too with you. The dogs kept tracking back to the same spot, which is in the backyard, kept running around over here, running around trying to find other stuff, and they couldn't find other stuff, and they ran back to the front yard. Why? Stuff like that. I was trying to plant something that don't need to be there. Well, I went to go see where he went. I was looking around. I went to go see if Amanda knew where he went, if she's seen him or anything. When I went to go, because nobody left that backyard, Aaron. Nobody left that backyard. If anybody left that backyard, those dogs would have made a beeline off of it and ran through the woods over there because they ran that way. They looked that way, but they kept coming back. Why? Because the person didn't leave. There was no time. It does not add up. If it was an accident, it was an accident. But you gotta tell us, dude. You gotta tell us. If it was an accident, let's sit here and quit talking what it is. Game or something.
Whatever happened, but stop on this. Some other dude did it, man. Everybody tries to say that. And everybody that said it
it don't wash. I told you it's not going to add up. You can say it, you can try to believe it, but you know it doesn't add.
If it was an accident, say it was an accident. Not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm not trying to trick you. Nobody's going to end up as You don't know what's going to happen any more than I do. I don't want to hurt You don't want to hurt whose feelings? Her feelings. Mom, her feelings are already hurt, Aaron. How much more hurt could they be? I didn't mean to hurt her. All right then. What happened? She was goofing around, and I was goofing her out. But first I went over there to tell her that I couldn't be over here for 2 weeks, like I was saying. And because I know Amanda, kind of a little bit forgets stuff when she's doing a lot of busy stuff. And I told her, and she said she wanted to go outside and let's go and do something. Well, I didn't know the gun was loaded. Okay, and what happened? And she was acting like she was pulling the trigger. And I said, don't do that. And I took it away. And I went to go try to go put it up so I can go leave. And it went off. Where was she at when it went on? Whatever the computer was. Over at the computer. How close to you when you went off? I had it right there in my hand, was grabbing it to take it away.
So you were right behind her when it went off, right in front of her, and she was in front of you, and her head was facing back. No. Well, you making it sound like I tried.
She had to go follow her. She was already halfway down the road with the truck to go pick up little Chase from the bus and when I went, I said, I can't catch up with her in that truck, and to shoot in the back of. We're not trying to make it say that's what the evidence shows, buddy. I know. So if you know that, then why are you saying we're making it up? We're not. No, but I aim it at her head at all.
I did is grab it, and it went off. Where were you at when you grabbed it? Right in front of her. When I grabbed it, the gun tilted up, and when it tilted off, it went off. Alana was struck in the back of the neck while she was looking at her Facebook
page on the family computer. The shot was at a downward angle, indicating that whoever shot her was standing over her, which doesn't exactly match the picture that Aaron is painting, does it? They're out there looking where that table is now, where the computer chair is. She's sitting. And they're telling me it's not possible that the gun was fired from the table height to where it hit her. The gun was fired up there. We got there all night where the gun was fired up higher. Wasn't fired at table height. Not possible. The way how she's spending that chair did happen. No, what I'm saying is that the trajectory, the way the bullet went in, it came from up to down. Okay, or did it go through the table? Couldn't do that. Okay, that would be down to up if it were on the table. I'm sitting here playing on Facebook, and I'm down here on down there on the table.
See what I'm saying? Well, it's going up down, so it would have to be by some up here. I never did do that, though. But I'm saying up here, doing it. I mean, I'm just telling. I'm just trying.
No, pieces together. Like you said, I got scared. I'm getting a little agitated. I'm trying not to, Aaron. I really am. I'm getting to the point now to where I'm trying to tell you the truth. No, you're not trying to tell us the truth. If you were trying to tell us the truth, just tell us the truth and quit trying. No, you would quit trying to just make stuff fit what we're telling you. Listen, we're telling you what the evidence is and what the facts are, okay?
I know, and we're showing that the trajectory range of that was probably way too close, and it went in our head to a diameter way. Listen, we're trying to tell you that the evidence does not. It contradicts what you're saying, okay? It's not. It's
stopped, and I went to go turn around, to go back to the house. When I turned around, I saw somebody kind of tall. Because, how far distance it looks like somebody's taller than something higher, like on that back porch. Well, he was
not going with what you're saying, okay? We're telling you that's out there. You can't lie about that.
we can't, that's the way this is. It is the way it is, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Okay. So I know for a fact that that gun was not there on the table like this when it went off. Okay? No. I never did say it went off like that, because when I had the gun was up above her. Yes, it was higher than where it went off. It
Was up. It wasn't down. It was up, is what I'm telling you. If you were playing some kind of game, you thought it was unloaded. You come in there and, pow, whatever, and it went off. You didn't know it was loaded. Okay. But what I'm asking you, and what I'm telling you, is that's not the way it happened. Okay? Tell me the way it happened. Tell me the way it happened. Aaron, you go back and forth all night, and I can tell you that it didn't happen that way. Okay. Am I going to be in trouble if I do? I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened. Huh? Okay. I was being dumb. I grabbed it when after she handed to me. I was trying to undo it like I was saying, like I did. But I thought it can go back again, so I can just, pull it back again. But it wasn't budging. And I picked it. I was going to try to go outside, but the door did not want to go open with just one hand. And I was doing that again when you said, just pull back, just let out the bullet, and it didn't, and my hand was on the trigger, and it just went off. But that still doesn't figure out. You're over there by the door now and not in behind her like you were. No, the glass door beside me. But what we're trying to tell you is, Aaron, let's just pull it down to brass tacks. This happened because somebody was standing up behind her at a certain angle. When I was doing that, I was doing this, trying to see if it'll come out. 'Cause, okay, now you gotta point it up in the air. Yeah, now I have it sideways in my hands so I can grab onto it like this and just pull it back. I was doing this, and I kept on doing that, pulling it down. Where are you standing when you're doing this? Up against the glass door, which would have meant she's beside you. Dressed in grayish, blackish pants, black boots, and a black jacket on and a black beanie on. And he saw me and looked at me and ran. He was white. He was a white man. He ran away down to the creek bank. Right? No, where I was saying where I was sitting at, right? Mm-hmm. You said you were sitting by the table. Yeah. I picked it up, and I was doing this, and I was looking. Actually had it pointing at me at first, and I was doing that, and I turned it like that, and I kept on going. So what I mean, you didn't grab the rag or anything. Did none of that happen, right? You didn't grab the rag? Well, I did grab the rag, but I didn't really get use it because it didn't grab the... You're confusing me more. Look. All right. The weapon is having it print. Well, yeah, you pretty much said. All right. Here's the deal. Whose prints are supposed to be on that gun? That's it. Okay, 2 prints. It's always on the gun. On your name, Alana. His name, Alana. No, that's Aaron. I was telling him. Yeah, Aaron prints, 'cause we got his prints on file. Yeah, your prints are only. That's all. Aaron doesn't seem to realize the weight of what the forensic analysis has just told detectives. His fingerprints being on the gun are obviously important, but Alana's lack of fingerprints on the gun are just as much so. But here's the thing. Her fingerprints on that gun. You know why they're not on that gun? You tell me. 'Cause she went there and got it. Well, because she didn't have the gun. I told you we're going to pick apart every little thing. Just quit trying to think of something else to cover it up, and just tell me the truth. Okay, but she did want to use it. Okay, I'm not lying about that. She wanted it. I didn't want to grab it, but she said I wasn't going to get in trouble if I do go in there and get it. So I went in there and got it. And she said it'd be fine, and she went to go grab it and pull it back, but I end up grabbing it, bringing it back myself because well, I'm trying to focus on her hand because you try. No, I'm not.
And I kind of thought that was kind of dumb because there ain't nothing down that way except a dead end. We set a little bit of four-wheeler trails. So I went to go see if anything was gone or missing because, you know, how somebody tried to break in and go run.
Saying that, you went and got the gun. Yes. You came out. Yes. But the clip was already halfway down. Okay? I didn't know what to do. What clip was already halfway down? A hammer. Yeah. Hammer. But you said you went like that. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I thought I did, because that back thing went down. Mm-hmm. The little hammer thing went back down. Okay, so I went like that and hit it down, and I didn't know how to get it back up without it going off. Yeah, okay. So what happened, like I was saying, I grabbed it not right at the bottom of the barrel, at top. Of the barrel. I was doing that to try to make sure that it didn't go off, but like I said, it slid off of my hand and it went off. Here's another little piece we got, where there's some fingerprints on the curtains by the back door, where it looks like somebody reached up and tried to pull up on the curtains. She was trying to pull us up. That's my hand down low by where she was. No, that's when she fell over, if it's down low. That's what I'm saying. So she didn't just fall over and lay there. She was down low trying to reach. I was trying to see if she was all right. She didn't move. She wasn't breathing. But you just told me few minutes ago, she was moaning. That was it. Went and went off it. She went and fell over. Did she ever grab at the curtains? No, she just fell over the chair and she just went down. I'm not lying about this. I'm not saying you are. Even though, I said that so many times, it's probably so. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, police know without a doubt that Erin murdered her. But the question is, was it premeditated? At this point, detectives don't have the biggest piece of evidence pointing to the fact that it likely was. As they work on getting it, another group of interrogators take a turn questioning Erin. Explain to me exactly what happened. She went, well, 'cause that was a couple of
Days ago. Door was well open. No, listen to me. What caused you to go to her house today? Why did you go to this girl's house? What's her name? Amanda. The girl is that the girl that got shot in the head?
Away. I seen the chair knocked over, and I saw a bunch of reddish-looking stuff. I thought it was Kool-Aid myself, 'cause Amanda kept on saying it was Kool-Aid, and I said it didn't look like Kool-Aid.
Okay. Why was you at her house today? Well, I went over there to tell her to remind Amanda, or just go up to Miss Betty to tell her that I'm on restriction for 2 weeks. Why does she need to tell them that? Because I told Amanda, and I know Amanda sometimes forgets, because you told Amanda that you were on restriction, but then you went to this girl's house to remind Amanda that you were on restriction. It didn't make sense. Well, because sometimes Amanda forgets. Because she's all the time busy with chasing little Paul. But you told her, you said, Amanda, I'm on restriction. Is that right? So then you went over to this girl's house who's now dead, and you said, hey, remind Amanda that I'm on restriction. Is that what it is? Yes, sir. Okay. And who's Betty? Her mom. Whose mom? The dead girl. What's the dead girl's name? Alana. Alana. Okay. Say dead. I'm sorry, but she is dead. So, okay, all right, so Alana. So you went to Alana's house today to tell Alana, hey, when you see Betty and when you see what's her name, Amanda, remind him I'm on restriction. All right, so you go to the house to do that. What door did you go in when you got to the house? Front door. Did she let you in? Yes, sir. I knocked on the door and she let me in. Okay, but she said, hold up. Then you say it was on restriction. I said, yeah, but I'm here to let you know, to remind Amanda.
When did you tell her you was on restriction? No, I didn't text her. Tell the truth. I am telling you. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Why would you go to her house to tell her you're on restriction when she opens the door to you and like, oh, dude, you can't be here. You're on restriction. I mean, it makes sense. She already knows you're on restriction. Why would you go to tell her? She had to know. Who told her? Amanda, I believe. I don't know. Never even told her. You never told her. Told Amanda. Right. So you're going to tell Alana. Tell Alana, hey, I'm on restriction. But when she opens the door, she knows you're on restriction. And what does she say to you? Well, when I walked in, she said, take off. No, wait a minute. She opens the door and she says, oh, wait a minute, you're on restriction, right? Did that stop you at the front door for a second? Till you tried to... Okay. I went and looked out the back door and I saw some like drag marks. Well, I seen that and I saw a bunch of more red stuff. And I figured out that when Amanda came up, that Alana was... Explain to her. What did you tell her to get you in the house? If she stopped and was kind of wary about you coming in the house and saying, well, wait a minute. What got you in the house? She told me to come in real fast. Well, what do you mean, come in real? What does that mean? No, I'm just trying. I'm just trying to understand. Really, dude? I'm talking about going in and help her with something. I didn't know. Okay, here we go. Who is it? Yeah. Okay. Open the door. Hey man, you're on restriction. That's where we're at. Okay? She recognized that you were on restriction. You tell me you were there to tell her that you're on restriction. Okay? What you just told me was that she stopped you at the front door. And by stopped, I don't mean kick in the groin or nothing. She just said, oh, wait a minute. Okay, what happened after that? Because when I turned around, was about to leave, she said, since I was there, can you hold up for a minute and help me out? Because she asked before if I can help her out with the gun issues, stuff like that. What did she ask you to help her out with that got you in the house today? She just said, come here real fast and let help. Because I always help her out with anything. Help me bake a cake. Help me sew a hat. Help me shine a shoe. What was you in the house to do today? What were you going in there to help her do today? What put you in the house? I don't know. She told me when she sat down on Facebook and she was going to say, oh, hold up, I gotta delete this picture and putting a couple more on there. To this day, police have not released a clear motive on why Aaron murdered Alana. However, based on evidence found in his home, it seems to have been premeditated. Inside Aaron's bedroom, police discovered the owner's manual, gun box, and extra ammunition for the gun that was used to kill Alana. If you recall, the gun was owned by Alana's father. However, given the tight timeline of events, it would have been impossible for Aaron to have hidden those items the day of the murder, meaning that he must have stolen them days prior, which gave him plenty of time to read over them and become familiar with the weapon that ultimately took Alana's life. And though why he took her life is still a mystery, police have some suspicions, because they have one more shocking accusation to throw at Aaron. So she kept on and on and on and on you about you show her how you was hanging. Yes, sir. Why? She said because in case if somebody tries to break in or do something. We've checked the residence. There's never been a break-in over there. Watches his life come crumbling down. He will do the one thing he does best. Call for mommy. I don't want to hurt her feelings. You don't want to hurt whose feelings? Alana. Mom. And over the course of this investigation, detectives will begin missing. And so I went out and started looking, helping Amanda look for her.
and I found Alana out in the side of that road. There was you there afterwards. Yeah, I came up.
Exactly. That's what I've been telling her. It's always clean down here. She likes it's always clean where on Miles Road. No, about breaking in. I ain't saying about clean like drugs, stuff like that. It ain't judge me about that.
So the whole reason she kept on agging and nagging and bugging you, 'cause she didn't want anybody break in or do something to her. So, 'cause sometimes she gets off the bus and so at 14 years old, she's want to learn.
She's on you about want to learn how to shoot a handgun. Yes, sir. 14 years old. Yes, sir. A female. Yes, sir. That's on Facebook most of the time and worried about who's good looking and who's not. She's gonna
Be worried about, learn how to shoot a handgun. Yes, sir. Because now it may sound stupid, but may. I'm not saying it is or isn't. Well, how about let me tell you? You going to say it is?
I mean this because she said she's been seeing something going around her house, messing around. Because like what? Like a head? She's saying she's been seeing a face on. Somebody saw you dressed in camouflage watching their
Daughter change into pajamas. What? Yeah, we got a guy that's done come up here and said, you've been sitting there in the woods or wherever it's at. Maybe you don't have woods. Don't start splitting hairs with me. But he knows that you've been watching his daughter change into the pajamas.
I'm afraid we're going to go off on another tangent of lies, so let's just redirect a little bit. Why did you lie and tell those investigators that she touched that gun, when that girl has never put her fingers on that gun? Why did you lie about that? Sure you do. Why did you lie in an
official investigation where someone you know is and you have drug? You're not going to do that to me. Not until you just said that, girls. What? Until you kept on saying this? Girl. And that's when I finally figured out that she was finally. You think she's been alive all this time? I don't know. All I know is she wasn't moving or nothing. 3 hours later, we're still getting lies from you. That's why I don't think you've told us everything. You've not.
Something happened in that house that only you, the good Lord in heaven, and that girl knows. And mister, if you can walk out of this room with that on your conscience.
Where she was. She was laying, well, all out, and Amanda, I got sick on my stomach. I didn't know what to do. I just dropped the phone from her, and I was talking to some person talking about CPR. Erin's story is about as solid as a, trust me. You worried about what's going to happen to you tonight? Trust me, in about 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to wish to God you finally broke down, finally manned up, and said, you know what? Damn, here it is. By God, this is what happened. Whatever it was, it happened. I don't know. You've told us lies for a reason. Let me read you like a book. Told us lies for a reason. To throw us off of the truth. You tell a lie to cover up the truth. Tino, you're going to regret the day that you let us leave this room. With these issues not cleared up, trust me, it's going to come back to bite you hard. Ultimately, in spite of his age, Aaron was convicted of malice murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. He has repeatedly tried to appeal his conviction, claiming that giving him a life sentence at such a young age counts as cruel and unusual punishment, which seems fitting given the cruel and unusual way in which he murdered a girl who trusted him and betrayed a family who took him in. Our thoughts are with the Callahans and all who knew and loved Alana. Thank you for watching today's video. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever
covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.
Slice of Swiss cheese. And police aren't the only ones who have realized by this point. When Alana's sister was questioned at the scene, she expressed to police that she had concerns about Aaron. Firstly, when the two went to search for Alana outside, Aaron seemed to know exactly where she was. As soon as they were outside, he pointed to the direction where she was found. However, according to Alana's sister, there was no possible way he could see her from where they were standing. On top of that, when they approached the body, Aaron took a twig out of her hair and then proceeded to freak out, telling
Alana, now they're gonna find my DNA on her. They're gonna think I did something. Little does Aaron know his DNA being found on her isn't the most condemning evidence that law enforcement have, and the investigation has just begun. When I turned around, walked out in
Front of that burn pile was looking down that trail, and that's when I saw Alana, and I got an upset stomach, and I was feeling woozy, and Amanda saying, "Where's she at? Where's she at?" I saying, "Down that trail." She saying, "Which trail?" Did
one behind me? That one or that one? I said that one over there. And she seen her, and she ran over there and called 911 and just started screaming and crying. Let me ask you this. This is really the only thing that's
I'm not really sure about. When you look out the back door and you saw what you said, by then you knew what was, and you saw the drag marks. We drag garbage out. Okay, but you said by this time you had already seen the guy in the dark clothing twice. Saw him at least once at the back door or whatever. And you walk in and you see this drag mark.
leading to that trail over here. Why don't you follow it? Because a couple days ago, me, Chase, and little Paul, because they got another little brother that's got after school that comes at 6 o'clock.
To discover a trail of damning clues, getting to the bottom of what happened to Alana. One way that some other dude did, everybody tries to say that. It does not add up, or another. You're all over this whole thing, period. The gun, the yard,
Well, we was taking out garbage the other day, going out around that tree, 'cause if we kept on going straight, there's like metal chain out there that we can't hardly notice, but if we drag it over, it's gonna rip open the bag and it's gonna spit out all that garbage everywhere.
So he's telling us go that way, and that's why I thought, I'm used to that black mark. I kind of don't understand why if you'd already been all around that area of the creek down here. Well, you said you've been all over. There, going down through here in that back trail. Okay? But you're in the backyard when you come out the back door, right? Yes, sir. And you turn immediately and go back. Down the way that you just had already checked. I mean, you came from your house all the way down that trail, all along, searching the fields, looking around, come all the way back up the front of the house, and go all the way down, halfway down the driveway. Look at that field. Look through that field to see the guy on the back porch apparently. Come back around, go in the house, come through the house, see the drag trail, lead right back around to the only area where you have not been. And what do you do when you come out of the back door then? You go immediately back down to the other area which you've already checked, which you said that you already knew he wasn't down there. No, down here. I knew he wasn't down there. I did not check this one trail right through there. Yeah, but is there anything that would lead you to believe that he would hang around in that one trail? You've been all over that area, all through there. And the only thing I can tell you is I can understand. I can understand most everything you're telling me. And you have to kind of go with me here on this. Have you know anything about how kind of this thing works as far as, crime scene investigations and all that kind of stuff? You know how any of that works? You ever seen anything like CSI or anything like that? Well, I have, but I'm not really paying attention to it. Don't really pay attention to it. I don't know if you like it or not, but that's, kind of part of this.
falls into that CSI kind of thing. No, we don't do it all in 1 hour and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it takes a little bit. Longer, but one of the things that we did is we had dogs come out. I don't know if you saw them or not. I saw one. There was at least 2 we had out there. And do you have any idea what?
House. The road. You, Aaron, are over everything. You haven't told me the truth. On January 31st, 2011, dispatch in rural Georgia received a heartbreaking 911 call that changed their community.
Those dogs did. Rhythms. All I know from one time from Jersey Tea last Thursday, we had like a little event where the military was showing off the dogs' tricks. They smell out like weapons.
Stuff like that. Drugs, bombs, stuff like that. Yeah. And also ours guard dogs, people call tracking dogs. Tracking dogs. And
we had not 1, but 2 dogs go all over that area, from the back of the house all the way back down that trail, as far as they could go back down toward the creek, and all over that area.
And you know one thing they didn't find? They didn't find a trail. The dogs kept kind of looping back around back to the house. I'm trying to wonder if there was another person down there besides you.
that was leaving a trail down there, that was doing all that running around that you said you saw him doing. Why wouldn't we have a trail back there for that? I don't know. You don't know? Well, and even onto the standpoint of
They went over there in that area where Alana was and worked that area too. I would figure if any area would be pretty hot and heavy on that, they could pick something off of that and weren't able to do that either.
So I'm just wondering if maybe you could kind of fill in some blanks for me there on I mean, these dogs are trained. I mean, they're trained. I know they train. They train to do their job, yeah. And that's one thing that I do know about the dogs. The dogs I don't have to worry about back-talking us or the dogs. I don't have to worry about second-guessing. Once you put them down there, they just rolling in smells, pretty much, other than eating or pooping, right? But if I've got a dog down there and I've got not one, we think, well, maybe that dog's not having a good day, because I like people that don't have a good day sometimes. Not always, not a whole lot, but sometimes. They're, so we put 2 just to be on the safe side. Do the same thing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
we're not trying to say anything one way or the other. We're trying to get a big picture because it kind of don't throw out a good picture because, well, it would be different if it was
Forever. 911 emergency. We found who in the woods? My sister. How old is she? 14. And what's her name? Alana Callahan. Love Church, writing.
some, maybe because we've had that before. Well, maybe. I mean, I got all the way down as far as here, but that's about it. I'm talking about zilch, none, 0. I'm talking about running around down there all throughout that area where you said you saw this. Person running and nothing. I mean, the dog didn't even act like it was even. Yeah, neither one of them. 'Cause right where that fence is, I follow footprints. And that's where I was going with it too. Because they went down there and the handlers. And the handlers have somebody with them called a spotter. Yes, sir. What do you think the spotter's job is? See if he sees anything, and to take care of the handler, and make sure that the handler is concentrating on the dog. If the dog does anything that,
We got something here? The handler is going to see that. The spotter looks around the handler. So if he sees anything or anybody or anything of any kind of, significance, he'll know where it is and he can mark it. So in case they have to come back. Nothing. Footprints. Not nothing. You know how muddy it was. You see all this mud right here? He's got it all over his pants. You got a little bit of there too. But I was walking around and stuff, and I was trying to be careful, and I was stomping all through it. And I mean, there was all kind of footprints and stuff down there, but get off down in that muddy area down there, around that creek. Yeah,
but there's nothing. So unless this person evaporated in the system.
So what does that lead us? What does that lead us back to? Almost leads back to me. It doesn't just lead back to Aaron. It points flashing neon arrows at him. Throughout the initial interrogation, Aaron changes his story regarding the
man he supposedly saw running away from Alana's house multiple times. Initially, he states the man was black and tall, then not black but wearing black clothing. Even later in the investigation, he tells detectives that the man was short, fattish, and brownish. If you're going to make up a suspect, at least stick to one description, though at this point it doesn't matter. Tracking dogs at the scene found no trail left by anyone aside from Alana's sister and Aaron. The trail leading to her body only went from the house to the woods and back, meaning
that whoever dragged her there didn't run off in the woods. They meandered back to the house as if nothing happened. Is there any chance that maybe there wasn't that second guy, that other guy? There wasn't another guy.
Four-wheelers and school. She had never been in any kind of trouble and was a strict rule follower who rarely left her home alone. How she ended up in the woods behind her family home, barely clinging to life, was a mystery. However, when police arrived at the scene, pieces of that mystery slowly.
But how? You just said yourself. People don't just evaporate into thin air. I know what you're saying, but I know I wouldn't hurt. Didn't think you would. That hurt like my sister, and that's where I was going to.
From what I understand, you're very good with her. We've been good friends ever since she moved there. Yep. Did y'all date him at first, but kind of went out, and so?
Then we just became friends, because she says if it don't work out, let's just be real friends. But led to that, and we led to be real good friends, okay? Real good friends. And from what I gather from everybody that we've talked to, that's
what they said. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that what happened was something that was malicious. That's another thing that we can kind of tell when we see these things.
And we were trying to put 2 and 2 together here. We want them to add up to 4, And it's just a matter of getting a few pieces of the puzzle together to kind of get there. And one of those huge pieces of the puzzle that didn't fit was that fact about the guy. But the other one is, we can kind of tell this is not something that we think that was just a malicious deal. Truth be known, it could have been an accident. Yes, sir. Things could have happened, and it might have been one of them, one of them unfortunate deals. I don't know. There was a movie out at one time called Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events. I've seen that. I hadn't either. I just heard the title, and it kind of fits, kind of a series of unfortunate events. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody went out here and planned to do this, like some cold-hearted, callous person did. But maybe, just maybe, things happened in such a way that it was an accident. Didn't mean for it to happen. And, they happen and we try to get past them. And, the person that, did these things is extremely, extremely sorry for it and wants things to be different. More than anything in this world, wants things to be different.
The only thing that I could tell a person in that situation would be what we know we can work with. What we don't know, we'll have to add our own thing to the equation and come out with 4. And sometimes, that doesn't always look good.
Started to come together. At the scene, they discovered Alana's older sister, who had placed the 911 call, and her next-door neighbor, a 14-year-old named Lacey Aaron Schmidt. Aaron and Alana were very close friends, and Aaron was a fixture at their home.
Yes, sir. So the only thing I'm telling you is if you'll help me, I'll try to do everything I can to make sure that we keep this straight and that we give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But certain things I don't think are adding up, and I don't want to wind up going out of here and giving anybody the wrong impression. A lot of things. Is there anything that you need to change about what happened? No, not that. It's changeable because I
No, I didn't put nothing in there that I did, 'cause I can't do stuff like that. You can't do stuff like what? Try to hurt her? She's actually a nice person. I don't know. Sure. Well, I mean, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. But if there is stuff there that says you were there, how are we going to get around that? Because there again, I mean, CSI, the way it works is we find things. Sometimes we don't find anything, other times we find stuff. And when we find stuff, it's gotta come from somewhere. Gotta be an explanation. It gotta be. And there ain't one explanation. Well, there's two explanations. There's what I can make of it, or there's what I'm told. I'm trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, without trying to put words in their mouth, or without trying to make anything of it, trying to think that something else happened, but didn't happen. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Aaron and Alana had dated briefly in the past, though their split was reportedly amicable. Aaron continued visiting the home, going on vacations with the family, and even spending holidays with them, because unfortunately, Aaron's home life left much to be desired. His mother was the stepdaughter of his father, which makes for a rather tangled and tragic family tree. As a result, he was living with his older half-sibling from his father's previous relationship. His life was reportedly incredibly unstable, which led to him leaning on the Callahans for love and comfort which they happily gave to him, at least until he started to betray it. What do you think happened to her? When I first seen her on the ground, like the how she was, I first thought something bad happened, and you could tell this. How? You said when you first saw her, you could tell that. How? I don't know how. Just some no one would just come up and get. Often joining them for dinners and even on family vacations. Not only that, but the two had previously been in a relationship as well. But at the scene, Aaron wasn't playing the part of a grieving family friend. He was very clearly trying to play that part. Hurt her. She don't let anybody try to touch her inappropriately. Okay, one thing she don't do. You think somebody might have been there and maybe tried to go a little further than what she was comfortable with? I don't know, because quite honestly, that's maybe what I was kind of thinking.
That, maybe somebody was there and maybe they were talking and cutting up and, one thing led to another and, things went a little bit out of hand.
But there again, that's just kind of what I think. Could that be a possibility? I don't know. That's all I saw, what I told you. That black person, well, not black person, because all black we've already pretty much established wasn't there. Yeah, that's what you all say. Well, I mean, that's what the evidence is showing us. Well, dogs and everything like that. Dogs like a footprint. It's lack of anything else that tells me. But Aaron, let me ask you this. What point would it be for me to sit here and try to trick you? There isn't one, right? Then you look at me and you listen to what I'm saying. I'm not trying to trick you. I am absolutely not trying to make you out to be an idiot. Nothing. I'm in serious business here. And when I tell you there's nothing we got right now to show that there was a man there, period. Nothing. Nothing trying. You saw those cars that were out there, right? There was more cars that you didn't see, that were all the way up the road, both sides, all the way around. They had that area cordoned off because when they hear somebody ran, the first thing they want to do is set up a perimeter. There were perimeter cars set up. Nobody saw anything. It's kind of something like y'all trying to say that I did something that I know I didn't do. I'm trying to kill him. No, we're trying to... I know what y'all saying, but it's kind of saying that, like, it makes it sound like it's coming directly back to me, like I did something wrong. What we're trying to get at here is we're trying to find out everything that... and failing miserably. Detectives noted at the scene that Aaron frequently tried to force tears when speaking to them, or whenever he felt someone was looking at him. As soon as he believed eyes weren't on him, the tears would instantly stop. And when detectives bring him in for
happened that I'm trying to tell you, but there's just, I know you're trying to tell us about this blackish white guy. If he doesn't exist, I don't want to have everybody out here looking for this, non-existent person when they could be doing something else, sitting here right now and be telling y'all that about this person. I wouldn't be sitting here. I would have already confessed a long time ago that I did something, which I won't do because I don't do that. I don't. He called for years. Yeah, Aaron should have looked into a career at the local stadium because really he's already a professional goalpost mover. From this point in the interrogation, the lie spread like wildfire, with a new one popping up for every inconsistency that the detectives point out. And they were far from the first to point out Aaron's habit of lying. Just a few days prior to Alana's murder, her parents came home to find Aaron standing in their home. The door had been unlocked, and with no one home, it was clear that Aaron had somehow snuck in. Alana's mother, upset by the crossed boundary, told Aaron that he wasn't allowed to come to the home for 2 weeks as punishment for essentially breaking into their home. Okay, hello, all the time. This whole thing, like I said, you know you're not accident. You saw. You saw what happened. I think she deserves more. She's been deserves more. I go out. Straight with you. Please do. But I was not the only person there. Okay, I did not shoot the gun. Okay, I was actually trying to stop it. Okay, well, I did seen the person jump it. Fence and everything, I kind of did do that, but I went straight to the house. But when I went in and a gun was shot, and when that happened, he pointed the gun at me, and I got scared. I'm sorry.